Let's leave Epstein and the Gabbard thing aside for a moment. What else is happening now that you think is should be getting more attention than it is? That something going on with the either Congress or the president or the Democratic Party that you think is being kind of wrongly overshadowed by those two hulking stories at the moment? Dan.
So I'll give you two stories, one for each party. I think for the Republicans, the big under the radar story is the looming showdown on immigration, because you have Brooke Rollins and Donald Trump recognizing that you can't deport all 16 million people here that are here illegally, some of whom work in agriculture, construction, hospitality, industries that Trump understands, that he knows, that rely on these people who are in the community and have been, a part of the workforce for years. On the other side is Steve Bannon and a lot of Stephen Miller, a lot of true believers who it's unfathomable that you're going to start to give some sort of plan, not for citizenship, but to stay here and work and be part of the community. I think that showdown is coming because they can't coexist in the long run. On our side of the aisle, I think the looming problem for Chuck Schumer with the budget that's going to come in the fall. Schumer got crushed when he agreed to the budget last March, letting it go through. Democrats did to get 60 votes. He has no power to stop it. I think Democrats would get blamed for a shutdown if Trump, Johnson, and Thune are all aligned, and probably John Fetterman and a few Democrats are like, we're not going to die on this hill. And what does Schumer do? I think it's going to tear the party apart again. The base is going to scream. Schumer is going to just basically let it go through. Does Jeffries stand by him? There's the AOC factor and her influence on Schumer, her influence on Jeffries, who wants to be speaker and needs the base in his corner. We have what's going on here in New York City. I think both parties have some stuff under the radar that's on the horizon.
That was a mighty fine answer. Batya, top that.
I will top that because, of course, Dan went for something negative on the Republican side.
That's his job. He's paid to be negative.
The truth is, the reason I'm so angry about the DNI report is because it is obfuscating an absolutely earth-shattering victory of the president's, which for some reason he doesn't want to talk about, which is this trade deal with Japan. There are going to be families in 5 generations that are middle class and homeowners because of this trade deal that this president just signed, giving us
explain how.
Well, because what he's done is, for the first time, we now have access for our cars in the Japanese market. We're going to be collecting 15% tariffs on them. Like, they just folded. Like, do you know how many billions of dollars we're going to be raising off of that? And that's the deal they agreed to. They got nothing, and we got everything. He is the only person on planet Earth who could have pulled that off. And why he would have spent a second of his life talking about anything but this enormous victory. It does everything he said he wanted to do. It is everything that he promised that no one else could have done. I mean, the impact this is going to have on working class Americans is enormous. It is a windfall, and yet no one is talking about it because he's out there calling Obama a traitor every day. And it is enraging to me that an accomplishment of this scale is just going to disappear into the ether. And from now on, we're always going to talk about it like it was the easiest thing in the world to pull off. Like, it's obvious we should be getting a 15% tariff off of Japan. It's so infuriating.
Yeah, Batya, I agree with you, with the caveat that Dan and I have discussed on the morning meeting, that it's got to be implemented, right? But on the first glance on the deal, you're absolutely right. It's an extraordinary deal, and previous presidents wouldn't even dream to try for it. One of the things I've liked to do over the last 4 years or so is ask Democrats, how much credit do you give Donald Trump for the Abraham Accords? And it usually their initial answer is humana, humana, humana. And then they have to sort of grudgingly admit, yeah, that was pretty good. Like if Barack Obama or Joe Biden had done that, we'd be celebrating it. I'll be curious to see if this Japan deal is implemented. Dan, will Democrats say what Batya just said, which is, yeah, he moved the Overton window on this. He got a trade deal with Japan that no previous president, all of them frustrated by Japanese tariff and non-tariff barriers, would have even thought to go for, let alone execute and get. Will Democrats anytime soon or ever acknowledge that.
They
No.
should. No, look, I think they won't sit there and say, you know, bravo, Donald Trump. But I think what they will say is somewhat what Batya just said. This is a home run for America. If this deal ends up, as you say, Mark, being implemented, if the Japanese agree to it, we have not seen the fine print. I do want to just kind of put out there, the Japanese have not said that Trump is lying or we don't have a deal, as some other countries have said after Truth Social posts. But if that's right, I mean, to Batya's point, I mean, I would love to be going into Michigan or, you know, talk to the auto industry after this deal if I were Donald Trump. So I think what'll be interesting is in 2028 or Democrats running for president, you're not going to sit there and say, boy, we should really do more free trade deals per se. You're going to say, I will continue this, maybe try to identify a country or two that you want to try to be the tip of the spear for. But Trump, if this goes through and if Europe, you know, folds in a similar fashion as is being reported may happen, Trump will deserve tremendous credit. Full stop.
Okay.